Welcome, everyone. Today, we're here to commemorate a very important day in our nation and world's history, 9/11. This is a day when we remember and honor the lives lost on September 11, 2001, and come together to make a positive difference in our communities. It is a day of service, unity, and good deeds, and we're thrilled to have a very special guest with us who embodies those values in everything she does. We are honored to have Jenna Bush Hager with us today. Jenna is a writer, TV host, and passionate advocate for literacy, education, and good deeds. Her dedication to making the world a better place through service and kindness is truly inspiring. And we're grateful to have her join us for this important day of remembrance and service. Now, before we get started, please remember that you can ask your questions, share your comments, ideas, and feelings in the chat. Members of the 9/11 Day team will be responding. So let's get ready to learn and inspire each other to make a positive impact in our world. Please join me in welcoming Jenna Bush Hager. Jenna, thank you so much for being with us today. We are truly honored to have you join us for this special event.
Oh, Jornay, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
9/11 Day is about honoring and serving others. But can you tell us a little bit more about the day itself and what inspired its creation?
Well, 9/11 Day is a really special day for our country because it is a day that came out of something that was very tragic, but has created this wave of hope and empowerment. And it's a day where we remember those whose lives were lost. But in order to remember them, we also remember the incredible feeling of unity and everybody coming together to help and serve. And so it's an incredible day of service. There's only two like it. Also, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is a day of service. And so it's a day where everybody can come together in their communities and do small things and big alike to make sure that we bring the beautiful remembrance of that day back.
Yes, so hope, empowerment, and unity. That is so inspiring and such a great way to honor those we've lost while making a positive impact in our world today. So for anyone who wants to get involved, what are some simple ways that people can participate in 9/11 Day?
Well, I think that's the awesome thing about it, is that I think sometimes we think, oh my gosh, but I don't have that much money or I don't have that much time. But there are wonderful ways that we can all serve. So I think, you can find local organizations in your own community that need help. You can volunteer with other organizations. You and your family can just do small things around your community that make a big impact. And I think that's what we need to remember, that no act of service is too small. No voice used is too quiet. So just get friends involved, make it fun. And I feel like whenever you serve, you actually get more out of it than the people that you are helping.
Yes, and you're right. No voice is too small. And I hear that there's almost like 30 million people that participate in 9/11 Day every year. And it's even more inspiring to hear that that goal has doubled this year. And really, just like you mentioned, anyone can participate in this day just by doing a good deed for someone else, no matter how big or small. So with that in mind, what are some resources available to help people decide how to make a meaningful impact in their communities?
Okay, well, there's so many ways that you can figure out how to help. So for 9/11 Day this year, we are doing something really cool. It's the I Will Pledge. So you and your friends and your family can create a I will help in any possible way. Again, no act of service is too small. There are also so many resources online that can help you find organizations in your own backyard and your own communities that can help. So their 9/11 Day website is www.911day.org. They have a whole bunch of resources about ways that you and your friends and your family and your schools can serve. They have tools that you can use in your classrooms. You should just take it to your teachers and say, hey, here's a way we can all give back. They also have a good deeds library with tons of resources. Also, just ask around, ask friends how they've served. Ask your teachers about organizations they know of in your communities that could use your help. And also, there's small ways of service, like sitting next to somebody that may not have a friend in the cafeteria, or helping somebody that needs a little cheering up. Again, there's no act of service that is too small.
Jenna, I love the intention that you shared. And then also, I think for a lot of our students, thinking about ways that they can help right inside of their school building is very comforting. And the resources that you shared are so very helpful. So thank you for that information. So you mentioned the I Will Pledge. We actually have a video that we would like to share with everyone that pays tribute to 9/11 through good deeds. It's about 1 minute long, and I think it really captures the spirit of that day. So let's roll it.
Let's clear frame, guys.
Can't see nothing in front of me. Can't see nothing coming.
There once was a place where our differences did not matter.
Where strangers stood shoulder to shoulder with outstretched arms and an urge to help.
Where neighbors showed up for neighbors and everyone was our brother or sister.
Connected by nothing more than wanting to do good.
Where everyday people dropped everything to pitch in.
To be a frontliner, a rescuer.
A hero when it mattered most. No questions asked.
To get back to that place, all we need to do is remember the 11th of September.
9/11 was a tragedy of unspeakable pain.
But it was also a moment of togetherness.
And a reminder of what we have in common.
A time when people were willing to give whatever they could.
Even at the risk of their own well-being.
A moment of compassion, when we all felt more alike than different.
Because in that moment, we were in a state of unitedness.
9/11 proved we're not really divided.
Not when it truly matters.
So to honor the 20-year remembrance of 9/11 and those lost, let's once again take a moment.
A moment to do a good deed this September 11th.
Done by me, you, us, and millions more.
Dona tu tiempo. Dona un abrigo de invierno.
Or just hold open a door. That kind of thing.
Deeds big and small. That would be a start.
Let's get back to that state of unitedness.
And let's never forget what we're capable of doing together.
Wow, that was really inspiring and a great reminder of the power of good deeds in bringing people together. Jenna, after watching that video, what do you hope to see and also experience on this 9/11 day? And how do you also hope to see it evolve in the future?
Well, I think if we think back to the first day of service, we've already seen it evolve so much. As it says on the website, small acts, when multiplied by millions, can transform the world. So spread it. Spread the message of 9/11 Day, of how it doesn't matter how young you are, where you live, what resources you have, but you can make a difference. So imagine getting your whole school involved, your whole class involved, your whole family involved, and then multiply that by tons and tons of people. It just shows that incredible things can happen the more we spread the word. So start spreading the word. Make sure that you tell your friends about 9/11 Day, that you talk to your teachers about it, that you get your families involved. It's really cool to be the force of good. And I know that all of you will be that.
Wow, it's almost like a drop of water that creates a ripple. So everyone can go out and share the beauty of 9/11 Day. I completely agree with you. And I know it's widely known that good deeds and acts of kindness just don't benefit the person being helped, they also benefit the giver too. So, can you think of a time when you gave back, but it changed you for the better?
Oh my gosh. Well, every time, every time we participate in acts of service, we are changed. We are changed for good. And I was lucky enough when I was graduated from college after teaching for a couple years to work in Latin America. And my job when I was volunteering there was to work with an organization called UNICEF. And my job was to meet kids, listen to their stories, and write them as part of a fundraising effort to show the way that kids live around the world. And as I was there, what I realized is that teachers come in so many forms. I was teaching there, but I was also learning. As I was listening to these kids' stories, I witnessed the optimism and the hope that they had for a better future. I was constantly inspired by their drive to make their lives better for themselves and for their families. But I think every single time we reach out, you don't have to serve halfway across the world, which I was lucky enough to do. You can also just participate in things in your own backyard. I mean, we witnessed it in the aftermath of 9/11, the unity and the goodness of neighbors reaching out to neighbors. We witnessed it again in 2020 during the pandemic. And one of the things I loved doing then with my daughter, who is 10 and will be participating in 9/11 Day this year, was we went around and for kids who were out of school, many of whom depended on school for meals, we delivered food once a week when she was done with online schooling. And it was incredible. And we delivered to the same families, so we got to know them. And she said to me at one point, Mila, my 10-year-old, said, I enjoy this so much. I feel so good. And I've learned so much from all of these kids that I get to meet. And I think that's the point of service, is that we grow and we feel connected to our communities and to people we may not meet in other ways. And so I would just say, every time you serve, you're going to feel that way. Every time you try to participate in your community and use your voice for good and for change and for growth, you're going to feel empowered and a little better.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Jenna. And that message of hope resonates so much because those good deeds will eventually continue making our world a better place. Now, we've received some great questions also from students who want to learn more about 9/11 Day and your thoughts on good deeds and kindness. So are you ready for the first question?
Yes, I am.
Here we go.
Hello, my name is Jalen Ezekiel Arnold, and I'm from New York. For those of us who weren't born yet, who don't remember the events, what should we know?
So a student from New York wants to know, for those of us who were not born yet or don't remember the events of 9/11, what should we know?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And there's so many of you watching who probably don't remember the day and have only learned about it at school or from your parents. And that, it was a tragedy in our country. It was a really, really hard day. But I think what I remember most and what I witnessed in the years past, in the year and the aftermath, was that it was a day where so many people reached out to help. I remember in the couple years after, I met a man who started a camp. That's what he did. He thought, how can I help after this? And since he runs camps up and down the East Coast, he said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a free camp for kids who lost loved ones and parents on that day. And they will come and they will be able to have fun and to laugh and to be together. And so I went and got to be part of that camp. And I was so moved by all of these kids, many of whom I've stayed in touch with. And what's so incredible about that time and about 9/11 Day and what it continues to do is that that camp helped so many kids heal and feel hopeful again and have the joy that they should have found. And now they give back. Many of them were counselors at a similar camp for kids who have lost siblings. And that's what 9/11 Day does. And that's what I remember most about that time is the unity. It just proves we have so much more in common than what divides us. So I hope that's what you will take from that day.
Wow, that is so true and such a good reminder that even in tragic situations that we can come together, be unified, and also inspire and make great changes within our world. And we all have control over that. So we have another great student question for you from Kansas.
Hi, my name is Riley and I am from Wichita, Kansas. What are some of the most impactful service projects that you have seen young people do, and how have they made a difference in your life and the lives of others? Thank you.
All right, so Riley from Kansas wants to know, what are some of the most impactful service projects you've seen from young people, and how have they made a difference on your life and the lives of others?
Oh, that's such a good question, Riley. I mean, I think I was a teacher too. I taught 3rd and 5th and 6th grade, and I was constantly in awe of my students because they gave back in ways big and small. But I think we've seen it across the country too. In the wake of 9/11 and on 9/11 Day, I've seen kids come together to clean up their parks, to clean up their environment, to go out and do beach walks. That was driven by one student. We've seen coat drives and canned food drives, all started by kids. And I think that's what you have to remember is that sometimes you think, well, is my voice loud enough? Can I make a difference? The thing is, the answer is yes, you definitely can. And the more you work with others, the more you get your friends and families and communities and Girl Scout troops and Boy Scout troops and schools together to make a difference. One voice is only so loud, but 20 voices, 40 voices, 50 voices can do incredible things. And that's what I feel like I've been most struck by is when communities come together, when kids come together, their service projects have been unbelievably inspiring.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. And I know so many teachers watching right now can definitely understand that same sentiment that you shared, that watching students in the classroom just be there for each other, but also leading so many different pieces of change within their community is very inspiring. And you don't have to do it alone. And as Jenna said, when there's more people coming together, that voice really resonates. So Jenna, up next, we have another student question coming from California.
Hi, my name is Brian, and I'm from Southern California. What has been the impact on local communities because of 9/11 Day?
All right, what impact has 9/11 Day had on local communities?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's such a good question. I mean, I think that's what's been so inspiring. There's an incredible group of kids who have participated, well, kids and adults alike, 30 million people. 30 million people helping to give back. That's a huge number. So there's been so many stories of communities that have been affected in beautiful, beautiful ways. I've read about a group of kids in Nevada that sewed blankets and pillowcases for homeless shelters. There was a group in San Antonio, Texas, where I'm from Texas, who cleaned up parks in their area. And in San Jose, California, a group who painted their elementary school playground. There's a whole way that people can help make their communities better. I often think, sometimes when we choose to do service, we think, let me travel there to do it. Let me go here to do it. And that's awesome. But also, there's so many ways we can help in our own backyard. And there's so many people that need a helping hand. And again, it doesn't have to be a huge event. It can be something small. Even if you're like, I want to participate, but I can't get a big group of people to help me, do something kind at school. Help somebody out. And when you're creating your I will pledge, that it can be as simple as that. It can say, I want to, sit next to somebody who seems like they're having a hard day. I want to help somebody who looks like they need help at school. There's a million ways that you can help. And with 30 million people all working together, it's going to be incredible.
Thank you so much for sharing those inspiring examples and stories. It's so amazing to hear about the impact that 9/11 Day has had on so many people and communities. So our next question comes from Florida.
Hi, my name is Claire and I'm from the state of Florida. Do you have any advice for those who may not be able to participate in service on 9/11 Day but still want to make a difference?
Okay, Jenna, so we have Clara from Florida who would love to know, what advice do you have for people who may not be able to participate in service on 9/11 Day, but still want to make a difference?
Okay, well, this is my advice. I think 9/11 Day is a day, of course, but it's also a movement. So on that day, maybe you're busy or you have something else. That's okay. Guess what? It's the spirit of it. So you don't have to create something big on that day. Small gestures make a difference too. So if you say, okay, I want to help, but I can't do it on that day, what about that weekend? See if you and your family can go do something together to serve. Tell your parents, hey, I want to get involved and make a difference in our community. The other thing I would say is figure out what it is you love. So when I was little, for example, and not so little, but in high school, my mom knew I loved kids. I was the type of kid that babysat at a really young age and was always holding the neighbors' babies. And so she said, hey, I want to show you somewhere. I just want to show you this place. I think you'll really love it. And it was a place called the Austin Children's Shelter. And it was a place for kids who needed extra help, who had faced some neglect and wanted a place to be loved. And she knew it because she visited that I would love it. And she was right. I went there. I loved the kids. I loved being with them. And so she said, why don't you just volunteer here? So for every Sunday, my junior and senior year of high school, that's what I would do. I would go there. And it brought such joy to me to be with these kids who I just adored. So that's the other thing. Find out what you love. If you love sports, there's so many organizations that deal with sports. If you love to read, maybe volunteer reading to some kids in your class. If you're interested in helping with issues, social issues, figure out what it is you're interested in. And believe me, there is a nonprofit that works on that exact issue. Volunteer. And again, it doesn't have to be those grand things that you do every single week. It could also just be opening the door for somebody, smiling to somebody, making sure you know that somebody feels seen and feels heard. Write a note to somebody that you can tell is having a hard day. There's so many ways to help. And don't worry if it isn't the biggest gesture in the world. Just make an effort. And it doesn't have to be on that day. Again, 9/11 Day is a day, of course, but it's also a movement. So find the way that you can get involved on whatever day that works.
Wow, that's such great advice, Jenna. I love how you emphasize that every good deed counts and can make a difference. And also that you share, just think about something that you love doing. It's kind of like you give your gift of yourself to someone else and it makes a difference in their lives. So Jenna, what is your I will for 9/11 Day pledge for this year?
Okay, well, I was so inspired by some of the stories I read, particularly the kids in Nevada that helped clean up their parks. So I have decided that I am going to go with my kids to our local parks and clean up, and try to get their friends involved too. So that's what we're going to do. That's my I will pledge for 9/11 Day this year. I will clean up the local park with my kids.
That's an awesome way to impact your community and spend some great quality time of service with your kids. Jenna, I think I'm living in New Orleans, Louisiana, and what I would love to do is sponsor meals for our first responders in our community. They do so much for this community, and I think that's the way that I'm going to spend my 9/11 day. So everyone watching.
Jornay, that's so inspiring. I might add that to my pledge. See what happens when you create moments of inspiration. You inspire others too. So I'm going to change my I will pledge right when we get off to add that, because I think that's a beautiful thing I could do in my community too.
Absolutely. And the more we have people sharing the ideas, the more we can be inspired. So everyone watching, we would love to hear your pledges. Share them with us in the chat. And also share on social and share them with our 9/11 Day team on Flip. Our 9/11 Day team has created an incredible and special Flip group where students, teachers, parents, and really anyone watching can continue sharing and submitting their pledges. So go to flip.com/I will for 9/11 Day to share your good deed and submit your pledge for our global community to see, but also get inspired.
Hi, I'm Faith. For 9/11 Day, I'm going to take chalk and write thank you in front of my neighbor's doors.
Hi, I'm Landon. I pledge to help the community by picking up trash.
Hi, I'm Sarah. For 9/11 Day, I'll give cards to my friends and family.
For 9/11 Day, I'll bake my neighbors some brownies and make them happy.
My pledge on 9/11 is to help my school by being a role model. For 9/11 Day, I will give cookies to my neighbors. And for 9/11 Day, I will donate to charity.
I pledge to be kind to my friends.
I'm going to pick up trash around my neighborhood.
I will help my community by helping my mom plant her flowers. And on the 9/11, I will also hold the door open for people that are coming through. Bye!
All right, Jenna, do you have your pledge card?
I have it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, everyone, hold your I will for 9/11 pledge cards. What will you all do for 9/11 Day? We would love to see your selfies or pledges, so please post them on Twitter by tagging at Microsoft Flip, at 9/11 Day, and at Jenna Bush Hager. Let's spread the message of kindness and community by sharing our good deeds with the world. Let's make a difference together. So Jenna, it was such a pleasure having you talk with us today. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or messages that you would like to share with our community?
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having me to be part of this incredible movement. I cannot wait to see all of your I will pledges and all of the incredible things that you can do and you will do. You guys are our future. And whenever I spend time with young people, I am so hopeful for all that you guys bring to the table. So spread your goodness, use your voices, and get involved. We can't wait to see what you're going to do.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Jenna, and sharing your inspiring message about the importance of kindness and good deeds on 9/11 Day. Your passion and dedication to this cause is truly inspiring, and we are grateful to work with you and the 9/11 Day team, who are doing such great work and making positive impacts in our world. We hope that everyone watching today feels motivated and also inspired to participate in 9/11 Day and make their own I will for 9/11 Day pledges to do good. And now, the learning and inspiration is never over. Head to flip.com/I will for 9/11 Day to submit your video pledge and share this group with your friends and community. We want to see your pledges and hear about your good deeds. Additionally, you can go to aka.ms 911day to find incredible educational resources created by the 9/11 Day team that will help your students learn more about how 9/11 became a day of service and how they can give back not just today, but every day. And even though we're wrapping up for today, we have flip events almost every week. Head to aka.ms/flip events to find an adventure that sparks your curiosity. That's it for today. I'm your host, Jornay Armand, and on behalf of Flip, the 9/11 Day team, and our amazing guest, Jenna Bush Hager, thank you for spending your time with us. We'll leave you with the video.
I was born on 9/11.
On September 11th, 2001. 5:26.
At
3:39 in the morning?
3 in the morning.
My name's Hillary. I was born, I think, somewhere around 2 o'clock in the afternoon on September 11th, 2001, in Norwalk Hospital, which is about 45 minutes away from New York City. I know a lot of people who go to my school who lost their parents or other family members in 9/11. I would hope it can become a day that people can look at and they can realize how much things have changed and how the world in general has grown. How things can transform. I like looking for the best in things. If we all do good deeds on 9/11, it'll add up. Doing something good makes me feel good as well. It makes me realize I have the power to change things and that there's really nothing stopping me. It's sort of become a part of who I am. I was born on 9/11. This 9/11 day, remember to do one good deed.